person that we're talking to. However, there's some great news. In between segments, I do have the opportunity to say thank you to people like Big Irv, who's going to be back on the show coming up, to people like Kitchen, to P3. That would all right. Anyway, we can go over it. Dar, thank you very much. Lit fam, I know the Lit fam's in the building. In the in-between segments, we'll be saying thank you, okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our first conversation. If you are this person, if you happen to be Mia, please do request the box. Thank you so much for reminding me that has to happen. Please do request the box. Give a very warm welcome. She is our first guest, and she is here on the show. The one, the only Mia. Thanks so much for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, proof that we did meet. We got
Let's
Chris
see
Kessler
it.
right
Let's
there
see
on
it.
the live shirt. Thank you guys.
They're hitting you with the gifts. That Live Fest shirt is so exclusive. Let me tell you how exclusive the Live Fest shirt is that I don't even own one. I didn't get a Live Fest shirt.
There we go, Chris Kessler.
I did sign it. That is a good looking signature. Look at that signature. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that everyone else got a t-shirt before I helped myself to one. And then on the last day, I may or may not have woken up a bit too late to grab a t-shirt in time. So, but anyway, this is not about that. Actually, it can be. Let's start off on that because that is going to be a theme for tonight is Live Fest. So let's start off with that. What was your Live Fest experience like?
It was so amazing. Honestly, at first it was a bit overwhelming because I've actually only been on the app for like just under 3 months. And so at Live Fest, I was only on for a couple of months and it was just overwhelming, like not really knowing a lot of people. But everyone is super sweet and amazing. And it was really nice to get to like see people in the 3D that you only see like a tiny little screen and get to perceive them and feel their energy and make connections and talk about collaborations that you can do. So it was amazing. I don't regret it at all. If anyone is ever on the fence, just go, make it your own experience, have a great time, dance the night away, swim at the pool, shake hands, shake booties, all that.
Maybe a little of that. I don't know.
Maybe a little bit, just a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Depends on how many Capri Suns we've had, right? But,
exactly.
Yeah. As someone who was on the app for 3 months, what motivated you to try and go? Because that's a really big leap to say, you know what, I'm going to fly and go to a whole different city, different place, meet a bunch of people who are basically strangers. What motivated you to do that?
I mean, honestly, I've always just been a connection, intimacy, community kind of person and connecting with people in real life. And it was a no-brainer for me. Plus, I have a lot of family and friends in Orlando. Why not just put 2 in 1? Visit friends, visit family, meet some new friends, some new family.
Family? I like that word. I like that word.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just kind of jump in there. Anyone who knows me, I just kind of jump and build my wings on the way down. So I was like, we're going to figure it out. I was so nervous at first, but by the end of the weekend, we were hugging, we were shaking hands, we were talking, we were chatting. And now I have a lot more streams to visit and it's super fun.
It's wild how that happens. By the way, talking about streams to visit, make sure that you're hitting the favorite button on our very first guest right here. She's there in the box. A lot of conversation still to have today, 2 more, but we're just getting started with this one. You and I are very much alike in that my first live community event, I had only been streaming since it was like the end of September, and then the event took place at the end of February. So it was just like a couple months that I had been doing it. So I really do commend that you took the plunge and got vulnerable like that. If you had to pick your biggest takeaway or your best memory from the event, what would you say it was?
The awards ceremony was really amazing. It was so cool to support people that have been working really hard on the app and that have achieved such great things. And the takeaway I would say is just go, even if you feel nervous, just go up to people, just say hi. Hi, I'm new. Hi, this is my streamer name. This is what I do. Who are you? Don't be worried about if anyone has a top badge or whatever. Just say hi to as many people, take as many pictures, take as many videos, screen record with your memory, and just go to all the events. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
it's that's some great advice. It really is. It goes so fast.
It does.
But I know that this outgoing attitude of yours is not secluded to just the live community. You have, and it's not your first time being on a screen even with the live community. You are, I guess, known throughout the app, but I don't know about this somehow. You've appeared on a game show before?
Yes, yes. I've
All right,
appeared
what's
on
the
game shows
story?
on the app. I've appeared on 4 game shows on television. I've been on 25 Words or Less, Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady, Hip
What?
Hop Squares, as well as People Puzzler. And my not so secret side hustle is I win grand prizes on TV game shows.
Whoa! So you've not I feel like for most people, it's a life goal to be able to just be on one show, but you've been on 4. Which one was your favorite one to be on?
They were all so good. To be honest, I love being on game shows. Also, people that know me on the app know that I love to be on the game shows on the app, and I love winning them. It's also okay if I lose, but I just have a really good time. And the thing is, I used to live in LA, and once the producers in LA kind of know you, you just start to get
Mm.
invited. So you can only be on one per year. But yeah, the producers will reach out and they'll just say, "Hey, do you want to be on this show? We think you'd be great." Um, I would say maybe one of my favorite experiences was Hip Hop Squares because it was such a star-studded show. You know, they have a celebrity in each
Yeah.
square.
Who
Um,
was on it? Who was on it when you were on there?
Ti, oh my gosh,
That's a big
Black
name though.
China, Jeremy Meeks, so many people. Why am I Remy Ma, um, Tiffany Haddish, Amanda Seals, and I got to talk to all of them. And I won the grand prize for that, which was a weekend in Vegas.
Wow, that's with the rappers? Did you get to go with Ti?
No, I did. I wish. I
Oh,
wish. I
okay,
tried
okay.
to ask them if they would go. They were like, "Girl, who are you?
They're like,
Take the
we
prize and
can't
go."
do that. That is so cool though. That you were able to do it and you've done something that most people wish they could do. So you lived in LA, was it to early 2010s? Is that around the time you were there?
Yeah, for almost 10 years, like from the 2010s to 2020. Yeah,
What do
I
you
did a lot
think
in
is
LA.
what do you think is the most true about LA lifestyle and what do you think is the biggest misconception about LA lifestyle?
Ooh, what is the most true about LA lifestyle is, and I don't even want to say it this way, but like there is like a lot of fakeness, but I don't want to say fake. That sounds so bad, but everyone is like trying to be somebody. Everyone is trying to do something. And there's a
Mm.
certain kind of like mask that they have to have. And I heard someone say this perfectly where they say, people, because I'm from New York originally, they say people from New York are like coconuts and people from LA are like peaches. So in New York, they have that hard outer shell, but once you get through it, they're actually really soft and sweet and kind. So we're not all jerks.
Oh.
But in LA, they're soft on the outside, but then when you get to know them, it's like there's the wall.
Yeah, I that's a great way, I guess, to put it. Not that I would know, but I as soon as you said it, the visual really
Yeah.
popped in my head. By the way, someone who's both soft and nice inside and out, was that a good segue? Possibly. Is our first guest right here, Mia. Make sure that you're hitting the favorite button on her. This is Suit Up. It's every Wednesday as
That
of
was a
now
great
going
segue.
forward again. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't go anywhere. We still have 2 more guests, including a kung fu fighter, traveler, and semi-pro athletes. So you don't want to miss any of those conversations. Okay, so a lot of things on our radar to still talk about, but I know that being in LA, it wasn't just to appear on game shows. It was probably tied to a few other things. Now, does that have to do with your artistic side?
Yes, absolutely. So when I left Wall Street, I got a job in YouTube. And so I've actually been a content creator for quite a long time. And I got a job in YouTube to be a community manager for a dance channel. But I did so well there. And because I knew so many dancers, because that's also my background, they made me the producer of a brand new channel. And they shut down the New York office to bring it to LA. And so that's what got me to LA. But honestly, what got me to LA was the weather.
Oh.
I know that's like really simple, but there was one time when I was on the beach in New York and we love the sound of
What is
this.
going on?
Everyone's favorite sound. I was on the beach in New York and my sister was like, "Why don't we live somewhere where we could go to the beach every day?" And that planted a seed in me. That was like 2008, and then by 2012 I was living in a place where I could drive 1 hour one way and be at the beach and drive 1 hour another way and be on the slopes snowboarding. So that was my kind of place.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Managing a YouTube channel. Wow, you've really made your way around the entertainment sphere. And many people in this community have aspirations of being content creators. What is something that you learned as a content manager, someone who worked behind the scenes? You really got to see the guts of it and the number side of things. What is something that you would like to pass on to potentially someone who is on their content journey?
My favorite gem to pass on to anyone who is a content creator, aspiring content creator, is be a creator, not a consumer of content. Be
Mm.
a creator, not a consumer. So create, 80% of the time, consume 20% of the time. It's easy to get really wrapped up in numbers. And I know, like here on this app, look at people's boards, look at people's diamonds, whatever. Just focus on your creation, your passion, what you like, because the right thing will pop. The right thing will pop. That's how I got the opportunity to manage my own channel because I was already passionate about dance and about dance crews and already knew so many people. So I just started creating content about that. And the owner of the channel was like, you need to manage your own channel for this. And one of our first was to Vegas to something called Hip Hop International, which is basically like the Olympics for dance. And when we went there, that channel just blew up. And I wasn't
Wow.
trying to go viral. I wasn't trying to do any of that. I was just trying to show dancers, put dancers on the front of the screen, show people behind the scenes what it really takes to be a competitive dancer. And I was just really passionate about it. And that passion just shone through. And that channel went viral. And here we are.
The rest is history. So, what do you do today then? Is it still in social media, YouTube, or where has life taken you?
Yeah, so I have also been a public speaker as well as a life coach. And I have built my own content creation platform on my own
Mm.
website. And I have sold various digital products, programs. I've created a lot of those types of things. And through that, I actually teach other content creators, coaches, healers, people like that how to use their social media to gain following and to sell their programs organically. And I've also started teaching about ads. So that's what I do.
Oh.
I have clients from all over the world. I help them build their personal brands and focus on organic growth through creating community and intimacy with their followers and help them focus on sales and marketing so that they can make money. So the focus is not going viral. The focus is not the numbers. The focus is the content that really impacts and helps people so that they can go full time in their content creation business.
Yeah. You earn the results that you work for. The content will always deliver the consequence with that. And consequences can be a positive thing, they can be a negative thing. It all depends on what you're doing. And the reason I segue into that is number one, a good consequence of being in the stream right now is you have the opportunity to favorite our first guest here, Ms. Mia. She's there in the box. She's giving us all these great nuggets about her career in social media, not just in the live community, but throughout YouTube and through dance and other things like game shows. Now, this next one that I bring up, this is not to bring out the negative, But I find that if we can learn from the mistakes of others, we can help get ourselves ahead. So throughout your career, what do you feel like was the largest investment of your time, or possibly the biggest learning experience that you've had, that you had to turn that negative into a positive? Has there been a moment like that?
There's been so many, but I can wrap it up in a bow for you if you'd like.
Oh, here we go. She was she was ready for this.
No, the biggest investment of my time, and that continues to be the biggest investment of my time, is on my inner work, on my mindset, on my inner game, on my self love.
Yeah.
Because especially in this content creation world, and especially in a world where there's a lot of watchers and a lot of people who will watch you on a screen and make up whatever version of you that makes them feel comfortable in their head,
Mhm.
there's a lot of negativity that can also happen. There's a lot of positivity, but there's also a lot of negativity. So my biggest investment is and always will continue to be my mindset, my inner work, my meditation, my health. Health is wealth. And that is what has gotten me through a lot of really tough times. You know, being in LA, working in YouTube, working with a pretty big dance studio. There's a lot of great people, and to be honest, there's a lot of not so great people. And
Sure.
the thing is, we can't get rid of the not so great people, we can't get rid of the negativity, we can't get rid of the hate, but we can change how we respond to it, and we can
Bingo.
control how much that knocks us off of our game. And I will say, every single thing that I've done in the last 30 years up until this point has prepared me for a lot of that. You know, there are a lot of negative comments online. I get hate emails, I get all kinds of stuff, but it doesn't affect me. I mean, it does. I'm human. I'm not going to say I'm,
Right, right, right.
but because I invest so much on my inner game, my mindset, and also the people close to me, we can get through anything, y'all, right?
Sure.
Throw those
Yeah.
stars in the chat, constellation. Let's go.
You you're dropping the heavy heavies right there, because what you're addressing really is at the root of how we end up carrying ourselves through the journey. I always say, learn to love the process, not the result. So that's what it takes to get through. But many times when we find ourselves having to defend every little thing or address every little thing, it stems from us having a lack of confidence in our own process, or a lack of confidence in our own ability. And now we're having to defend it to others to say, here's why you should be part of my journey, rather than just showing it through action of why they should still be part of your journey. So my kind of people. You're
We're
talking
not
that
kind of
talk.
people. Look, I'm gonna get this started.
I love it. I love it so much.
Bigger.
Okay. So you're dropping the great information, and I've been steering things so far. But the last question I pose to every guest on this show is that this is your time. So is there anything that you're passionate about, anything that you hoped to discuss while you were here that we haven't talked about yet?
Absolutely. So my streams are all about community and connection. They always turn into just these amazing conversations that range from the spectrum of like just super fun and silly, and we're dancing around and we're asking silly questions like, imagine if you could smell people through the screen, what do you think this stream would smell like? All the way to like deep philosophical discussions. A lot of people know I'm super into astrology and human
Mm,
design, and I'm really passionate about myself being the most authentically expressed version of myself, and therefore everyone who I meet and who I touch being the most authentically expressed version of themselves. And so we'd go through astrology, human design, tarot, spirituality, all that good stuff. So there's also a very woo-woo side of me as well
like,
as the
there
business
it is.
side.
And that is very popular in this community. The tarot, the spirituality, the horoscope side of things is very alive and well. So I feel like you'll have a great viewer community timeline of hooking people with that, and then they're going to end up staying for all these knowledge nuggets that you drop.
I
So
hope so. Come through, everyone. I like to
yeah.
leave my streams and my people better than how I found them.
That's, you know what? And I think that if we can all steer ourselves that way, the world will be a better place. At least the world of live will be, if we can start one step at a time, right? Thank you so much for being here. By the way, it was great to get to have our conversations and have those moments at Live Fest. They are special. I'm hoping that I'll see you again at the next one. You know what?
Oh,
Actually, before we go, this is my show. I can steer the time how I want. Before we go, I am interested to know why, through your experience through YouTube, through your experience on television, other things like that, why do you feel like this is a community that you want to start investing your time into? What makes this a worthwhile place?
I think it's the live aspect of it.
Mm,
Um, I mean, there are other places where there are lives, and I mean, I guess to be honest, this is where my friend Anna, by the way, shout out to Anna. Anna's the reason I'm on this app. She told me, Mia, you need to be on here. And as I said before, I'm a jump first and build the wings on the way down. Download the app, hopped around the next day, did my first stream, and I kind of just kept going. And I'm a very much about my intuition. And every day I'm like, is this still where I need to be? Is this still where I need to be? What do I need to do today? And I'm
mhm.
still here and I'm gonna be here.
Love it. Well, great things are in the future. We're super excited to see what they are for you. Keep us up to date too. So make sure that you're hitting the follow on Mia. She's there in the box. She's our first guest. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Shout out to Ari for booking me on the show. Thank you so much, Chris. Bye,
Shout out
everybody.
Ari.
Lots of love.
That's the air horn of success. And that was our very first guest being back. It's been, oh gosh, what's it been, like 2 months? We take like a little 2 month breaky break there. My name's Chris. Thank you so much for being here. This is a show where you get to learn more about your favorite streamer, even if you haven't met them before. We've already had our first guest on the show. We still got two more, including someone who knows a thing or two about traveling. And well, I'm gonna save the rest of it, but does include martial arts. We're gonna just leave that hint. We're gonna leave that hint, okay? And a semi-pro athletes coming up too. So you don't want to miss any of those conversations. They happen Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are Trey S, please request the box because you are next up on deck. Before we welcome him to the box, I'd like to say thank you to you for being here. There's anything in the world that you could be choosing to do, you're choosing to support the fantastic people that we have on the show today. I'd also like to give a special thank you to these 10 people. I'd like to say thank you to that guy, Galaxy Khaleesi, Lil Max, who's part of the Lit Fam, Nat, Galaxy Khaleesi, King Diablo. Are you coming out of retirement, my friend? Universe LR1111, Mr. Dar. We've got Dozer, who's also part of the Lit Fam, and my man Big Irv in the building. We're going to be seeing him in the upcoming weeks. So, on that note, I've given some teasers as to who our next guest this evening. He's coming here in the box. He's someone I had the honor and privilege to meet at Live Fest, and now you get to meet him on the show, Mr. Trey S. Thank you so much for being here.
Yo, Chris, what's up, man? How you doing? What's up,
Dude,
everybody?
I'm doing great. It's nice to see you. I feel like I just saw you.
I feel like you see me every year, at least once in 2023.
At least once. I think this is a great place to start the conversation too. The same way that we did just with Mia there is you decided to make the trip out to Live Fest. It's not your first time doing something like this. For you, what brought you back out?
Man, honestly, it's just all about the community for me. Like, I work insane amounts of hours, so this is where I've met my people, my tribe, my circle, and the Live Fest every year. That's where I get to see those people. It's the only opportunity that where everybody from every walks of life and different areas of the world get to come together as a family. Really, I mean, I've built a whole
Yeah.
family on here. So I mean, to me, it's a family reunion.
It is, and you couldn't have put it a better way, in my opinion. The that it is a family, and you talking about working the hours that you work, and then being able to find your people here. When people use the word "this is a community," it really is that. Do you feel like while you were at Live Fest this year, anything new was able to happen for you, or did you have anything that was like a highlight?
I pretty much proved that I'm not very good at gambling, which I just over the last year or so, like some of the newer people that have come to the app that I've befriended and that come around that I really enjoy, new faces. I've just really got to enjoy the presence of everybody. And I mean, to me, Live Fest is always a good time. From the minute I show up until the minute I leave, it's just a wonderful experience.
Yeah, yeah. One of the funniest things, and I actually think it's our next guest that I had the conversation with, so I'm going to save specifically that topic, which is the initial impression versus how things roll out. Casino night, yeah, it's okay if you didn't walk away with all the money, but you did walk away with memories. Um, the whole aspect though of it being able to be a community, you help make it that, so thank you for showing up, thank you for staying apart and coming back consistently, because we're only able to do these events because of people like yourself who want to show up and be with the people that they meet here, which is really what it is about. So for the people who haven't met you before, number one, make sure that you're hitting the favorite button on Trey, because he's there, he's in the box, he's our second guest this evening. And let's take it a step deeper so that we can find out a little bit about more who you are. You've lived many places, one of them being overseas. Where was it and why?
Man, typical Army brat. My dad was career military. So I've lived all over the U.S. and then I had the privilege to live in a couple of different parts of Germany. So I lived in a place called Schweinfurt, and then I lived in a place called Stuttgart. And man, I just so anybody that knows me and anybody that's going to get to know me, I have this wild personality, right? Like you never know what I'm going to do. And I remember I have a memory that just popped in my head as I was watching Me, a lovely lady, by the way. Uh, I have this memory of me with the old school boom box, the massive boom box, walking through the military base, listening to God, LL Cool J, man. Like, dude, I'm just jamming to LL Cool J with my little sunglasses on, and it was just a good experience. I remember having like carnivals and stuff that would come into town, and like even at a young age, like we'd get to walk over there, and we'd have our money and whatnot, and just have the best time ever living over there. And it's memorable for sure. I remember just about everything about living overseas.
Were you able to stay in one place very long? I know we've talked with other people who grew up as you called it an Army brat, but kids in the military. Were you able to stay planted in one place very long?
I mean, for the most part, I want to say I was in Texas for a really long time, which Texas is my home. I love Texas. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, maybe 4 years here, 8 years here. But yeah, I would definitely say Texas is where I kind of planted my roots. My dad had his longest assignment here. And this is where I stayed, and this is where I call home. Definitely love Texas.
Yeah. And coming from a family that's in the service, they know a thing or two about defending the country. But you have also learned how to defend yourself, which is really impressive. And before we explain what that means, do make sure that you're hitting the favorite button on Trey, because he is our second guest this evening. It's just Suit Up. It's a show that happens Wednesdays at 9, and you don't want to go anywhere because we've got a lot more conversation with Trey. We've still got another guest tonight, so a lot more show for you. So as I was saying, you learned how to defend yourself in a technical sense. What is it that I'm alluding to here?
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen that joke about folding laundry, but with people still in them.
Yeah,
Like, quite literally. So I've had a massive passion for martial arts ever since I was little. All the old kung fu movies, like the dubbed, the mouths don't move with the words. Like, I've always loved it. I had the privilege of living next to a guy that trained under Frank Dukes, which if you ever seen the movie Bloodsport, Frank Dukes is played by Van Damme, so I met the real guy. So the guy would teach me in the courtyard, Dukes Ryu Ninjutsu. That's where I kind of got the passion really. And then as I got older, I kind of dabbled in a little bit of MMA and everything. But then I found jujitsu, man. And jujitsu is phenomenal. The best workout that you're ever going to get. Before class starts, just the warm-ups, you're drenched in sweat. It's an amazing.
That
In fact,
it is.
the medal on my wall right there is actually a silver medal I won in 2020 in a
Wow.
technical championship competition. So
So this isn't like past days of glory kind of deal. You are still active. This is still something that you practice. For the is that accurate? I saw this on a vase. You know what? In my brain, 2020 was yesterday. You know
yeah,
what? I'm just now looking at the time and the calendar. That was 5 years ago. So have you hung that hat up then?
I haven't hung it up, but definitely hit slow down. Um, as I said earlier, man, I actually work sometimes close to 100 hours a week. Like I have an insane work schedule. I actually just worked 36 hours and slept 2 hours before coming here to talk with you. So it's a busy life, man, and I do want to get back into it, but uh, the worst thing about it is hitting the reset button, letting yourself kind of get out of shape, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, and I ain't getting no younger, Chris. I ain't getting no younger, man.
I I have such a huge respect for how you're still though able to get involved with the passions that you do have, because I understand as a person who has themselves divided in many places, how tough that can be. I am going to shift topics here just a bit. Whatever your comfortability level is for this, what realm of work are you involved with that's keeping you so busy?
So 100%, man. I talk about it all the time because people are always curious. They're like, man, why are you always at work? You know, I'll
Yeah.
do pop-up streams while I'm sitting waiting. So I work in the oil and gas industry. I've been in it
Oh,
for over 20 years. Uh, Kind of a lifestyle more than a job. I'm actually third generation, you know, like oil field kind of runs in the blood. We like the black gold.
yeah.
Um, but it's just for 21 days. I work a 21-day on, 14-day off schedule, which gives me the opportunity to do things such as Live Fest and travel all over to visit people. 14 days off, you know, but that 21 days is brutal. It's nonstop. So
Do you, do you spend time out in the ocean? Like, do you on the? I don't know what the floating things are called, but is that part of what your job is?
yeah, yeah. So where I'm at now, I've been on land for 10 and a half years, but I actually used to live in Lafayette in South Louisiana. And I would catch helicopters and boats out, you know, sometimes 4, 5, 6 hour boat ride out into the middle of nothing but water, man.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful. I've seen water spouts before, which are like the tornadoes on the water.
Yeah.
Um, Cool little like a family of raccoons lined up waiting for a piece of bread as the boat comes into the dock, man. Like you know, just super cool stuff. But yeah, I worked out in the Gulf of Mexico for about 6 years.
It and that can be extremely dangerous work, can't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What does it involve? And before you say, by the way, I got to remind you, hit the favorite button. While Trey's in the box, these conversations are happening, but you can catch him live, so don't miss it. Why is it dangerous? You know, we hear that type of physical labor can be, but I don't know exactly what's involved with it. So maybe you can shed some light on it.
Uh Man, unfortunately, complacency, people putting their hands in the wrong places, feet in the wrong places, somebody pushing a button or moving something when they shouldn't have, standing where they shouldn't be standing.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff. I've seen people get knocked over a flight of stairs by a hose and have their backs broken. I saw a guy lose a leg one time. Like it's and that poor guy, you know, wrong place, wrong time. You know, he was just
Yeah.
in the wrong place. But it's just you have a lot of moving parts, a lot of heavy objects, you know, like and it's constant. They shut down for nothing. If anybody knows anything about that industry, it doesn't stop. It does not.
So I thought you meant like they shut down for nothing, meaning like they stop all the time. You meant the opposite. Like someone could be critically injured and they're like, all right, show goes on.
Yeah, they
Uh,
ship off and within an hour.
uh,
Within an hour, they're back to business as
yeah,
usual, you know?
that oil money is no joke, I guess.
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay, there's a lot of topics. I still have a lot of things on the list that we can talk about. But as I do like to always preface, is there anything that you are passionate about, or anything that you hope that we would be sure to talk about while we've got you here?
Absolutely, man. I just want to touch on like we kind of touched on a little bit dealing with Live Fest, community, family, everything like
Yeah.
that. But man, friendship and the bonds that we build with people on here are absolutely phenomenal. And so a lot of people are like, it's just the internet. It's just the internet. Like, oh, like
Mhm.
I'll never dating, for instance. I'll never date somebody off this app. I've only dated people off of this app since
Hey.
2021. uh, but yeah, man, just it's very important that when you find your people, your tribe, that you hold on to that because it's rare.
Mhm.
And I have the honor of calling so many people on this app friends, and I feel like that's a big, strong passion and value. Also, y'all don't take life too serious, man. Like just relax, take a breath, and just vibe, man.
Sure.
Uh, and be kind to people. Kindness is a major thing for me.
Y Yeah, you said it best too when you're talking about the friendships that can be found here or the people that you meet here. It isn't just the internet. When someone confides about their life experience to you, whether they're 1,000 miles away or you met them in the grocery store, that's still that same authentic, real conversation that they're choosing to have with you. And it does end up bubbling up to something like a live fest where you can have people. We hear this all the time, especially on this show, that people meet their real best friends on here who they've never physically met before,
Mhm.
and then that's it. Even though that's not historically what friendship looked like, this is all a very new thing. And I think we are a part of the first wave, the first generation of normalizing what virtual relationships are and what they'll become. And I think if we look forward a couple decades, it will become increasingly more common and probably even just the norm. So yeah, I celebrate that you were quick to accept it. I've obviously drank the Kool-Aid. I might be the deepest Kool-Aid drinker of them all, but that's another topic. Okay, so before we go, there's one more thing I want to ask you about. Because you're a pretty tough guy with the jujitsu, working the oil rigs, but the tiniest little things, one in particular seems to get the best of you. What
Uh,
did bees do to Trey?
Listen, I may even try to imitate the girlishly scream that comes out of my voice when a bee starts chasing me, and I don't know why, man. Like they don't just fly by and leave me alone; they chase me,
So
and I just imagine a grown man screaming, arms flailing, feet kicking randomly, ducking, bobbing, and weaving all over a little bitty old tiny bee. Look, man, I'm
yeah,
terrified of bees.
they. Do you have an allergy? Is or just
No, it's like the PTSD, I think. I got one kid, my dad's army cover, his hat. There was a bee in the car with us, and I trapped it in the hat, and I thought I smashed it. Well, I'm a little boy, man. I put the hat on, and I got stung like right there.
oh
Reaching in to grab something, wasps, hornets, etc. They sting you, man. They're mean. They're evil little creatures.
bees? No, hornets, wasps, sure. Bees are just chunky little friends trying to pollinate the flowers.
It's the
So
little honeybees, man. The bumblebees are cool. They just like hover everywhere. They leave people alone. But the honeybees, they chase me, and I don't know if it's just because I'm really sweet
ah,
or
there it is. I was waiting for it. There it is.
but yeah, they do, man. They harass me like almost stalkerish even. They just won't leave me alone, and
All right.
I've fallen like the
No, don't
highway
do that to him.
girl.
Look at that chunky little friend. It's just a round, cylindrical, rotund friend right there.
Yeah, I can
Falling on
learn
the
to love
floor.
them. I can learn.
So, well, if you want to be very cool and kind, you should be hitting the favorite button on Trey, as he has been our second guest this evening. Trey, thank you so much for jumping on the show. Thank you for dressing for the occasion. Thank you to Mia too for dressing for the occasion. Both of you looked fantastic. And if you have not, make sure you've hit the favorite button on him. Thank you so much for being here, man. It was great to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Cheers. Hey, he works hard. He plays hard. He goes to Live Fest. You can catch him in the live community. Trey S. right there. He was in the box. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. If you are just now joining, welcome to Suited Up. It's a weekly talk and interview style show. We took a month or two off as we prepared for Live Fest. I do work behind the scenes, a lot of hours on that, and there's a lot of, I might even be getting some gray hair. No gray hairs yet. I don't want to jinx it though. I want to say thank you to you for being here. If our last guest this evening, the boss man, the Lit Fam, will please request the box, we can prepare things that way. I also want to say thank you to these 10 individuals who have been here so far: to King Diablo, to Universe LR 1111, Nat, Galaxy Khaleesi, Mr. Dar, over to Dozer, Big Irv, DJ 007, the president and chief executive, over to Lil Max, also part of that Lit Fam, and Ice Goddess, who I found out her name means Ice Goddess. The characters, I didn't know those characters. So hey, shout out. Thank you so much for all your generosity. If you have some interest in being on this show, we're active again. I was gone for just a little bit. Thank you for coming back strong. I see that chat moving, even though I'm not addressing it. Thank you for supporting those who have been on the show today for the conversations. If you have interest in being on this show, Ari, please make yourself known. She's in the chat. She does a fantastic job of booking things. My head wouldn't be screwed on straight without her. There she is with the fantastic hair. Everyone compliment Ari's new hair. All right, she's right there in the box. Compliment Ari. All right, coming to the box right now is our third and final guest this evening. He's the boss. He's in charge of the Lit Fam, and he's making a difference. You're here to find out why. Please welcome the one and only man himself. Thank you so much for being here, my friend.
How you doing, Chris? Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Dude, it's great to be with you again. I know you and I had a lot of heart-to-hearts over Live Fest. You and I got to talk for a while, and it was really cool to get acquainted. And now everyone watching is going to have that same opportunity. So let's start off that way, the same way we started off with our last two guests, is talking about Live Fest. You showed up. What was the motivating factor for you?
Meet new people. I was, coming back onto the app, the networking and the families that we've had, the families that I created, and the family and the people that I want to, network with, and, higher up streamers. Just want to get out there, put my name out there, let Lit Fam know, or let people know that Lit Fam is back. We're here again. A lot of people know the story that happened, but we're just trying to carry that torch and trying to get, the family name back and growing on the app again.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that story too. For those who have not heard that story before, it is an important one, and it is an honorable one. Staying on the topic of Live Fest while we're here, what was your time like? You showed up. We've had 2 impressions of it. What's your take?
It's amazing. I tell a lot of people too, since I've been back, is that the hours that we put into streaming and sitting in this chair, I'm not the only one that does it. All the streamers can relate to the hours that we put in, the effort that we have to be consistent with outside of our families and our friends and our own personal life, just to maintain our streams every day. So it felt good to get that appreciation and that recognition that you guys are watching. You guys are, we're not just on here doing it for no reason. When you go to Live Fest, you truly feel appreciated. They notice you and they see you. So I just say for those streamers that are just starting, all those hours that you feel like you are doing it for no reason. It's hard to get people in your, the grind is real. It's hard to get people in your stream. As far as guys, it's really a struggle. But there are guys that done it. They sat in the same chair that you're sitting in, and they do get recognition. And it just felt good to, be out there in front of everyone and just realize how much you guys truly do care about the streamers.
Sure. And something I'll highlight too on that is that the streaming community is really that. It is the community of people. Us behind the scenes on the more administrative part can help to facilitate it. But if no one's there to make it a community, then you don't have one, right? And so really credit to yourself and the one that you're building, especially like with your Lit Fam that you have. But before we do that, what brought you back to the platform? Because there was a time where you had been on it, and there was a time where you weren't. So what brought you back?
Wow, you remember the conversation like it was yesterday. Yes.
I try my best.
So 2017, for a lot of you guys that don't know, even a lot of other fan members don't know this, but I did stream for a little bit of back in 2017, a few months, not too long. I did come across the owner, the CEO of his name was Will Smith on the app. He started LitFam. And then I came back after my relationship didn't work out. I logged back into the app and my name still said boss hashtag LitFam with the fire emoji and the red backpack. So I just stayed with it. My brother too, me and him were both unfortunately single at the same time. I was like, hey man, like I was in between being single, bro. Like I went on this app, I randomly found it, just downloaded it, seen that you guys have a live section, pressed the button, and then I've been here ever since. But I wanted to get my brother into it because I knew how much fun it was prior to the relationship that I had. So I kind of wanted to get back out there, introduce it to him, and we've been here ever since, just kind of growing the family again.
It's cool that you can take someone, especially if someone's you're as close to as like a brother, into the community, because I try and explain this to my best friends and they only know it from being in the other room and hearing me shout and scream and do that kind of stuff. It's a whole different thing when you can take like walk the walk and journey with somebody. And I got to meet him too also at Live Fest. So ultimately, what was both of your takeaways as the duo? Because I really knew you two as like a duo almost.
Yeah.
What was your ultimate takeaway from the event?
Like I said, man, it was awesome. I'm definitely going to be there every year. We're going to come in pretty deep next year. Lit Fam is coming in pretty heavily. It's not just going to be me and my brother. We were kind of the ones out there just to test the water, put the toe in the water real quick to see how it goes. Yeah. But next year we're going to roll in with the whole family. And you guys know how excited I get. So I'm sorry now, but Lit Fam is coming. We are going to be celebrating. We are going to have fun, but I promise you it won't be as much as I did this time.
I see. Now here I was fishing. I thought you were gonna say your ultimate takeaway is that I'm good luck, because something may or may not have happened when I appeared in your live stream. I cannot confirm or deny what that may have been.
You know, I can. It was a 250K dragon that Prophet in the chat showed out. And it's funny because you were sitting in like a table across from me, and Prophet was like, hey, where's Chris Gasper at? And I'm like, he's sitting right here. He's like, go grab it. I'm like, everybody's going up to him, man. Like, this has to be really good for me to interrupt his conversation with, whoever he's talking to. And he was like, hey, it's worth it. So I told Chris to come over for 2 seconds. I seen it in his face. He's like, oh, I just want to relax. And then he came over for 2 seconds. All I remember is, if we didn't have a video of it, I would not have remembered everything that went down that night, because after I got the dragon, apparently I was doing all kinds of stuff. But you grabbed me, and all I can remember is you walking away, and I thought you were done, but you didn't. You put your whole foot in my face and everything. Said, he said, smell my feet. And then he came back for half a second, and then the dragon came across, and it was over from there. And so yeah,
that dragon happened. Shout out Prophet for making the dragon happen. That was the real deal. Also shout out if you're watching right now. We know that the Lit Fam's in the building right now, so thank you for being here. If you're not part of it or you're just now joining, make sure that you're hitting the favorite on the boss man himself. He's there in the box. He's our third guest this evening here on Suited Up, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so we've been alluding to this a little bit. It is a sensitive story, but it is a story of legacy, and I heard you explain it to me. So whatever your level of comfortability is, tell us why Lit Fam. It's not just a name; it's carrying on more than just 2 words.
Yeah, I'll kind of wind it back to how I came across Lit Fam and becoming a family member myself. I was a new streamer, just like a lot of us in the Lit Fam, a lot of us in the comments. His name was Will Smith on the app. He came across my stream one day. Me and him hit it off ever since. He was more like a mentor to me, a friend. We ended up meeting in person several times. Just like Live Fest, I don't know what it was, but in Michigan, the time that I started streaming, they had some kind of event where all the top badges came out here. And I was new to that, but the connections that I was able to have with Will and a lot of his other friends, they invited me out. So I got to spend some time with him. And then he started making a routine thing where he would come out to Michigan. But the biggest things like we're getting to as far as Lit Fam, it's about a family. It's about spreading love and positivity. He was inviting everyone that came into his app. He was he wasn't there to judge you. He was there to bring you up. You know, you can be going through a difficult time. He was always some person that you could call on the phone. You could reach out to him, you know, I've reached out to him multiple times. So it's a family that he was creating, and that legacy. It wasn't just everybody on here getting gifts and, you know, he didn't care about you. He was really focused on creating a family on the app. And I love that. And I love the mentorship that he provided for me back then. So I feel like when I came back and I seen that my name was still there, and I knew that, you know, things had happened over the years of me being away. But I just felt like, why not carry the torch? Why not pick up the flame and light it up and let it and grow amongst the app again? And it's crazy to me because, well, it's not crazy to me actually. It's great to hear that a lot of people on the app still remember Will. Like I hear it all the time. Will, like the thing you're doing for Will is awesome. Like you're bringing the family back. This is the longest family name that has been on the app, and it's gonna grow again. It's all the positive things with Lit Fam. We are a family. We do truly care about you. We hear you. We support you, and we want to make sure that everyone grows. Not just myself, not just Will. We want to see everyone grow.
And I know what you're referencing here too is Will was tragically taken from us far too soon. And for you to honor your friend this way through the family that he created and still delivering that message, I know that a lot of people resonate with that, not only through friendship, but through their own personal experiences and the people that have come in their lives and exited in different ways. And so I'm sure he'd be and is very proud of you still sharing his story and the great things that he did, not only in this community, but off the platform as well, which you and I got obviously more into at Live Fest, but we can save that for a different time. As far as you as a person and things that you're doing now here on the platform, they're well documented. You've got your crew, but I know that off the platform, you stay pretty busy as well, including some athletics. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I used to play semi-pro football, so I don't do it anymore. I'm a little bit older. Bones aren't so good anymore. Back ain't the best. But I used to play semi-pro football coming out of high school. I did that for, I want to say, 3 to 4 years. Played QB, so I felt like I was pretty good left-handed. It's not very common. But I got a chance to play with the higher up level. It's not the NFL, it's not college, but these players were players that auditioned, or not auditioned, but tried out for NFL and maybe didn't make it. So they resort back to playing semi-pro football. So I did get the chance to play with a lot of athletes that were pretty good, that could have made it to the NFL, just didn't make it to the team that they were hoping to. So
Yeah,
it was a blessing to be able to do that.
And athletics is very tough. I mean, it's a very physical thing as well. So I mean, for you to stuck it out and done the semi-pro thing, it's still very impressive. It's not like, oh well, it's the semi-pros, you know. Was there a camp that yours was attached to? For example, we don't have an arena football team anymore here in Michigan, but we do have the Grand Rapids Griffins, who do feed into the Red Wings. So was there a team that your team helped affiliate with?
Similar to what you're saying right now with the Grand Rapids team. It was the Monroe Timberwolves. I'm not sure if you know, but I think they moved on to be an arena team now. So they're an actual arena.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Very similar to what you were talking about.
Yeah, that's still super cool. And I know that sports too, it runs in the family. And by the way, if you're just now joining, welcome to Suited Up. It's a weekly interview and talk style show where we get to know your favorite broadcaster a bit more, even if you haven't met them yet. Make sure that you're hitting the favorite button on Mr. Bossman. He's there. He's telling his story, and thank you for being here to watch it. So athletics runs in the family, because I know that you now, even though you don't play, you still coach. What are you coaching?
I do. I coach 5th and 6th grade football for my son. It's always been a dream of mine. After football, you think it's over. You're hanging up the pads. You're never gonna play anymore. There's no way. I get hit now. I'm probably not gonna get back up. So the closest thing that I could find to getting myself back on the field was coaching football for my son. I do that every year. I've been coaching for 3 years now. We made it to the playoffs a few times. I want to say that we probably got one of the best offense out there. My brother J Rock, he's in the comments, he probably can contest to that. But being able to it was a dream of mine, just being able to not only have a son, but to be able to have him play the game that I used to love and him love it,
Yeah.
just as much as I do. It's just awesome. And he's also a quarterback too. So like, it just works out perfect, man. And I don't know if you guys have kids or not, but like, you play sports and then now you're coaching your son to do it. And it's a game that you love at the same time. It's a dream come true. So that's what I'm passionate about. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine life coming full circle like that. It probably, when you take a step back and look at it, does feel very surreal. So that's super cool that you're able to do that. What
funny.
else?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's kind of
No,
funny.
go for it. Go
I
for
said
it.
5th and 6th grade, right? When I'm out on this field, I got suspended a couple times because I take it serious, right? But it feels like I'm out in the game. It feels like I'm out there, guys. Like I'm back.
Yeah.
Hey, boss is back.
It's you bring up something that is a great point to make, is we see people who are very competitive in like their work life, in sports, in many aspects of their life, and then they find a way to bring that competition mindset to this as well. And that's how you get like your contest grinders and things like that. So as we're having this conversation though, there's many directions we can take it. Question I always throw out: is there anything that we haven't talked about yet that you're passionate about, or that you hoped that we'd bring up as we start to sunset?
That I'm passionate about. That I'm sorry. You know me, Chris.
Is there something that you're like, man, I really hope Chris brings this up because I want to talk about it? Is there a thing that you are passionate about, or something that you'd like to talk about while we have you?
Hey, I'm passionate about just creating a family. Like I said, just bringing the name back, growing the family on the app. I hope that you guys can see the growth that we've made since we've, been here. Bring back, nothing but good memories of Lit Fam, and just the community, just bring it in the community and growing it. I mean, that's what I'm passionate about. Just being there for others, helping them grow, because I don't want to be a top badge by myself. And I tell the whole Lit Fam this, all the time. I don't want to be the only top badge in Lit Fam. I think that we all can do it if we just believe in each other and we work together, because we're stronger in numbers. It's very important if we stick together, not from the bottom, but all the way into the top, because it's gonna be huge once we make it up there. So that's what I'm passionate about, is just bringing the Lit Fam from disappearing completely to bringing it back to a full circle and having a bunch of top badge Lit Fam members.
Absolutely. Well,